I'm Chris Lawrence with your headlines from North Texas. Help is on the way for federal workers at Dallas Love Field. Volunteers kicked off a community food drive to help air traffic controllers and TSA workers working during the government shutdown without getting paid. Tiffany Liu takes a look at how it's impacting our airports.
I was there 2 hours early just to make sure.
Travelers know flying during a government shutdown means a risk of delays. At DFW International Airport,
we're number 3 in our line, but there's 4 lines.
Robert Salazar was on his layover from Orlando to McAllen, going home from a work trip.
We don't move. We just stay there. And then the pilot says, hey, there's an issue with air traffic control.
The flight left 3 hours late with 2.5 hours sitting on the DFW runway.
I was just grateful that somebody showed up and we were able to make it home.
At Dallas Love Field, the airport trying to keep morale high, knowing their 300 federal workers are missing paychecks.
We're collecting non-perishable food items, personal care items all week long to give back to these federal workers.
Dallas Love Field spokesperson Patrick Clark says they're also collecting gas cards to help them get to work. Donations can be dropped off at the information desk inside the airport, at the cell phone lot, or at their admin building.
If we have to extend the drive, we will do absolutely just that.
Long lines and delays are happening across the country, including Bush Airport in Houston and Austin Bergstrom International.
If this shutdown lingers, who knows what's going to happen.
As we near the holiday season, there is fear for travelers.
I'm concerned for anybody that has to travel.
And even more concern for those working without pay.
For them to have to come here, work under those conditions, not knowing when they're going to get paid again, I think it's awful.
We're here to help our neighbors during this difficult time. Our team compiled a list of businesses, restaurants, and nonprofit groups offering food assistance for families impacted by the shutdown. For more details, scan the QR code on your screen. Salina ISD has placed a wrestling coach on administrative leave after allegations surfaced from his previous job in Melissa ISD. Over the weekend, a social media post accused Coach Neil Phillips of inappropriate conduct there before moving to Salina for this school year. He becomes the 5th employee placed on leave in Salina ISD in the past month alone, and 3 of them are teachers or coaches accused of misconduct. One of the biggest names in cheer is facing its toughest challenge. Plano-based Cheer Athletics just filed for bankruptcy the day before a jury was set to hear from 2 sisters who claim a former coach abused them. The company is reorganizing, but the sisters' attorney told Matt Howerton the timing speaks volumes.
Yeah, Cheer Athletics said in a social media post that legal fees forced its hand into this situation, but for the survivors waiting to be heard, the timing feels like a story stopped mid-sentence. Court filings show Cheer Athletics Plano filed for Chapter 11 protection Sunday, listing up to $10 million in assets and liabilities. The move paused a civil trial brought by 2 sisters, twins from North Texas, Hannah and Jessica Gerlacher, who say they were sexually abused by their coach years ago. Their attorney represented 2 other Jane Does who resolved their cases with Cheer Athletics already out of court. Those anonymous victims were just given the green light to testify in this upcoming trial involving the Gerlachers. Their attorney says,
and I tend to believe that the threat of facing at least 4 victims, maybe others, in this jury trial that was set for this week was a factor in them deciding to declare bankruptcy at the very last hour.
In a statement, Cheer Athletics says all gyms remain open while the filing allows it to reorganize after significant legal expenses. Declaring bankruptcy will halt at least 2 other cases against Cheer Athletics right now. What happens next won't unfold before a jury, but in bankruptcy court, where dollars, not testimony, decide who's owed what and who still deserves to be heard. The coach named in the lawsuit has not been criminally charged. However, the victim's attorney says the allegations have been reported to law enforcement, and she hopes they take another look in light of what's happening. Back to you.
Watauga police say they've arrested a man for stealing merchandise from Target stores across 14 cities in Texas. It involved a lot of Legos and amounted to $37,000. Police say these are some of the sets they found last week when they searched Winston Love's home. It all went down in the past couple months, and investigators think he's part of a retail theft ring targeting high-priced Lego sets in Oklahoma and Texas. The Texas Rangers are investigating Sunday's police shooting after officers killed a man in Denton. It happened on Oxford Lane. Luke Clary has new details on what led up to that shooting and what people nearby had to say.
Some neighbors woke up to the sound of gunshots. Somehow his family didn't.
We were all asleep. Even the baby slept through it.
But Zachariah Mickler Sandoval couldn't miss the huge investigation that took over Oxford Lane in North Denton.
When you walked out your door, what was that like?
Police tape everywhere, and there was just cops everywhere, and the cop wouldn't, he really didn't let us know what was going on.
Police later said that around 4 a.m., someone called police about a man firing shots into empty cars. When officers arrived, they say the man opened fire at them.
Our officers returned fire and struck the suspect.
Texas Rangers are now leading the investigation. All 4 officers involved are on leave. The suspect died at the hospital. Authorities have not identified him, but neighbors said he seemed friendly.
Neighbors in the area describe ordinary interactions with the suspect. A wave here, a smile there. Nothing that would foreshadow a deadly shootout with police.
His next-door neighbor thinks the suspect shot 3 of his cars point blank, each multiple times before the cops arrived. He said they barely even knew each other, kind of like Mickler Sandoval.
You wave at them when you're walking by, or, I've seen them doing yard work and trimming their bushes and stuff.
Now, he's thinking about that man's family.
A human life ended 2 houses down from me.
And his own.
My wife and I sleep on that side of the house, and my 2-year-old daughter also does. So, a stray bullet could have potentially hurt somebody pretty bad. I guess I've been processing it all day.
In Denton, I'm Luke Clary.
Oak Lawn United Methodist Church held a consecration ceremony Sunday for its new Rainbow Steps in Dallas. The church says the service was a celebration of hope and inclusion. The church painted those steps in response to Governor Abbott's new rule. He ordered cities to remove unconventional crosswalks or risk losing funding for public transportation. That includes the Rainbow Crosswalk in Oak Lawn, an area known for being welcoming to the LGBTQ community. Those who support the order say it's a political sign that poses a safety hazard, and the city of Dallas has until Saturday to decide what to do. Those are your headlines from North Texas.